GlobalView Headlines. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today, we'll be examining the events that transpired around the world on December 6th. If you liked the video, you can support us by liking it and subscribing to our channel. Now, let's move on to the video. Enjoy.
Have you ever stopped to think about how a single day on the calendar can hold these moments that completely change the world? Well, let's dive into that idea. Seriously, how much history can you pack into just one day? We're going to find out by looking at a date you might not think much about, but wow, it is just loaded with significance. And that date, our case study for today, is December 6th. As you're about to see, this one day has been the backdrop for some of history's most critical moments. And look, this isn't just a random list of things that happened. On December 6th, the world has seen real, genuine turning points, events that literally shaped politics, science, and our entire global culture. So, here's our game plan. We'll start way back with the foundations of legends and empires. Then we'll jump into an age of amazing ideas, see how modern nations were born, and wrap up with some shockwaves that we're still feeling today. This timeline kind of gives you the roadmap. We're starting in antiquity, laying those foundations. Then it's on to the 18th and 19th centuries for an explosion of new ideas. After that, the 20th century with the forging of modern nations. And we'll finish up in the modern era with events that are still making headlines. All right, let's dive in. Okay, our journey begins way back in antiquity, with moments that created the bedrock for both global legends and powerful empires. First stop, the year is 343. On this day, a historical person, Saint Nicholas, passed away. And it's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it, that the legacy of this one person would slowly, over hundreds of years, morph into the global icon we all know as Santa Claus. Okay, now we're going to fast forward more than 1,000 years to another massive moment that landed on the very same date, 1492. On December 6th of that year, Christopher Columbus made landfall on the island of Hispaniola, and that one single event kicked off a chain reaction, exploration, colonization, massive global exchange that would absolutely and permanently change the path of history. All right, next up, we are jumping into a period of just massive change, a time when everything from knowledge to technology absolutely exploded. You could really call it the birth of the modern mind. I mean, check out this cluster of innovation all happening on December 6th. First, in 1768, you get the very first Encyclopedia Britannica, a huge project to make knowledge accessible to more people. Then, over a century later, 1877, Thomas Edison shows off his phonograph, completely changing how we think about sound itself. And just 7 years after that, in 1884, construction on the Washington Monument is finally finished, creating this powerful symbol of a nation. It's an incredible mix of knowledge, tech, and identity. But in the middle of all that, there's one year from this era that really deserves its own moment, 1865. On this day, December 6th, the United States officially ratified the 13th Amendment to its Constitution. This was the act that legally and finally abolished slavery. And you have to understand, this wasn't just some political document. It was a monumental step toward human rights, a truly defining moment in that long, painful struggle for freedom. So now let's leap into the 20th century. This was a time of unbelievable conflict, yes, but also of liberation, a time when the world map itself was literally being rewritten. And here you see two totally different stories of self-determination, both happening on December 6th. In 1921, the Anglo-Irish Treaty gets signed, which creates the foundation for what would become the Irish Free State. Then, fast forward to 1956. On that same day, Nelson Mandela is arrested, an event that really kicked off the long, hard fight that would one day bring down apartheid in South Africa. Two epic stories of national identity, linked forever by this one date. And that brings us right up to the modern era, to events that are still making waves, still causing debate, and are very much a part of the world we live in right now. On December 6, 1992, the historic Babri Mosque in Ayodhya, India, was destroyed. This single event sent massive shockwaves not just across India, but all around the globe, and its fallout is something that is still being felt and discussed today. Now get this, exactly 25 years to the day later, on December 6, 2017, the United States made a huge move, officially recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. This was a major foreign policy decision that instantly changed the game in modern geopolitics. So when you pull back and look at the big picture, you really see it. Just one day, a single square on the calendar, but it carries the weight of centuries of impact. And when you break it all down by theme, you get this really fascinating picture. Sure, politics and conflict take the biggest piece of the pie at 40%, but look at that. Human rights, science and ideas, and culture and legend are all tied. It just shows you what a diverse and powerful footprint this one day has left. And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? These are the moments that made December 6th what it is. And they aren't just stuck in the past. They continue to shape and influence the world we live in right now. It's a pretty powerful reminder that history is always being written all around us, which kind of leaves us with one last question to chew on. Those moments define December 6th for their time. What moments happening right now are going to be the ones that define ours?